Welcome back to Hot Mess Momllennials. Today we have a very, very special guest. It is an Aries queen, C-unit.
That's right.
All right.
AKA Cortney.
Yeah, that will be C to the O to the R to the T to the N to the E to the Y. Not a basic bitch, but a unique one. Okay.
All right, we're going to be talking about friendship, what it's like to be an Afro Latina in America, and much more. So stay tuned.
You don't want to miss out. All right, ladies and gentlemen, today we're talking about friendship and sisterhood, and here we have the best example of friendship. Okay,
A special guest.
a super special guest. So everyone, a round of applause for Cortney with the Cortney. That's how special she is. She doesn't spell her name basic.
Hold the U.
I just want y'all to know that in Aries fashion, Cortney forced us to introduce her with as much pump and circumstance. Is that the word? I think those are the words.
I
Yeah.
mean,
With enough oomph for Aries season.
a little razzle dazzle for the season, ladies,
Yes.
and I feel like I'm the representative. So
I know that's right.
thank you. I appreciate that so much. Thank you for having me, ladies.
Love to have
So
you.
happy to be here.
And guys, before you fall in love, she's a guest, not a staple here. Okay, so
You're going to fall in love by the end of this, so that's why we feel
100%.
the need to remind
Disclaimer.
you that it's just me and Shani, but we have some great
we're
people.
fun too.
Appreciate that.
Yes.
And it's an experience, though, and I feel like everyone is all blessed to experience it. So buckle in. Here
I
we
love
go.
it.
All right, so to jump in, we wanted to start with the hotel because Mama got some talented style.
Well, I just want to make sure that y'all understand first. We really do want to like kind of have hotels
As
as
a
a
thing.
staple.
Ooh.
Yeah, in every episode. But I mean, it's been kind of dry for all of us. you know
Exactly,
what
we're
I'm
not that
saying?
big of hoes,
We're not exactly. We're like ladies, but every now and again,
but not in the sheets.
apparently not. So the hotels is essentially just going to be a moment for us to share maybe something salacious of the
Or-
whole variety.
I was gonna say our
Like you could-
badges.
We can do. My badge has just been hanging out. So
Your badge? I said badge.
Badge, right?
thought you
okay.
said
Okay. Hard B.
badge.
With the hard B. Okay.
What am I supposed to share? It just does what it does.
Badge.
You don't have to
Badge.
cut that. Let the world see me in my shame.
Don't know about you. Oh, you know what? I was thinking today, it said that it was like National Pink Day. And I was like, well, I can't post my vagina on.
That's what I saw earlier.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course, that'd be your first thought.
Mhm.
How can I get away with posting my pink vagina?
Yeah.
All of this estrogen and
That's where I was
sexual,
going.
tension in the room. Tell us your hotel.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, you guys. So, I have healed from my ghosting. And I put myself back out there, ladies. And caught something. Caught a person.
A big fish.
Caught a fish, not an STD.
Thank you.
Let's
Classifying.
clarify that. So we went out for dinner. First of all, hold on. This is a mature, seasoned gentleman. Met him on a dating app, and he told me when and where we were going to link up. I was tardy because I don't like to promote myself anything falsely. I want you to know I'm going to be tardy. Anyways, I was tardy, was there. He was really, really just fine. All right. Had a good old time. The drinks were flowing. Conversation was going. We ended up meeting some girlfriends downtown. Got my little dancing shoes on. But what was really nice? So I was drinking a little bit, and then he was like, I think you're done. And I did not even oppose that because I was like, I had been drinking at the open bar at the event I was prior. So I was like, that's probably a good thing. Don't want to vomit on you on the first date, which I've done before. So I've learned. I was like, let's reel it in. But yeah, we went to his house on the gentrified side of the east side. Real nice. I thought I was going somewhere else, but I let my girlfriends know. Apparently I was nowhere. Well, I was near it.
You were near.
I was near. I was in the vicinity. But walked up into this house, real nice. The ambiance, it was giving grown man. Okay.
It smelled like sandalwood.
No, it smelled like cologne,
Mm.
like grown man cologne. And I was like, immediate panty dropper. But anyways, I'm there for the theatrics. So he had the stool, and I was like this on the stool.
Like
this. Archie.
Oh, okay. I was like,
And I had him take off my cowgirl boots, and then he undressed me. And I won't go into further details, but it was a wild night. So wild that I know it was busting, because this man at the end got on his knees and prayed. And prayed. And what I did was, like, I gave him my little hand. I was still on the bed. I gave him my little hand. And when he said amen, I was like, amen. Amen. So that's how I know I still got it. Busting. He had to thank the Lord right then and there. Praise him.
I mean, her theory is that he was thanking the Lord. In my mind, I was like, it must have been good because he had to pray. He didn't have a heart attack in his sleep. Since he was a gentleman of a certain age. But we could take it how we want to take it.
I'm gonna take it that way.
Thank you for the hotel.
It was great. So he's definitely number one on the roster. Oh, but I have another hotel. Okay, this one slid in the
there's two.
DM. It's a potential.
There's two.
So this guy, the streets are saying that he is in a relationship, but he says he's not, and I'm not really for the drama, so I'm not going to confirm with the individual. I'm not in a relationship. That's on him. Oh, backtrack. The guy from East Austin, he deleted the dating app, so I really don't know if I am in a relationship, because I was like, I didn't delete it. I will define the relationship when I don't pay rent on the first of the month. That's how I know I got a man. But so yeah, somebody slid in my DM. And they said, like, where have you been? I've been looking high and low. Want to go to lunch this week? And then I have you for a snack?
Mashani, the thing with, okay, can I just say something real quick before we even continue? The way that men talk to you, like, is just, and the fact that they get mentioned in public as a result of the things that they say, girl, this is continuing my theory that you are just so nice. Like,
how is that? I like that.
Maybe I'm a miserable old, lady that lives under a tree or some shit.
I'm like, ooh.
Continue. This is great. This is exciting. Sorry.
So then my reply was, you haven't looked high enough then. And then I said, I'm down for lunch. Set that up. So,
oh my God.
So then we were discussing like where I worked or whatever. And then I was like, but you need to do it either tomorrow or Wednesday because I'm going out of town. And then he was like, where are you going? I said, a bachelorette party. But then I followed up. I said, my bachelorette party. And he said, oh, okay, that's cool. I got you then. Because that was my thing, to be like, you want to tell me something about your girlfriend? But hey, again, as far as I'm concerned, I'm not in a relationship. So I'm for the streets, baby.
I don't understand what's happening. Sorry. I don't know what's happened, but I think I've missed a great chunk of Shani's life in the last weekend. Are you dating someone? Like, I don't understand.
I think the older gentleman believes that, I think he's defined the relationship because he deleted the app.
That's all it took, Shani?
It was
You know
bussin'.
what? I ain't trying to sit up here.
Baby. He's not a big texter, which I'm like, good, because that keeps me available to other people. You know, I gotta have time for all my hoes. You know how that thing I had posted, I was like, instead of wondering how many hoes I have, try being my favorite hoe. That's what it's all about.
Listen, like,
so
this is how I know. Because
that I ain't shit.
no, not that at all. Not that at all. Because honestly, like, whenever I'm single, I am definitely not an exclusive person. I have no way of even imagining exclusivity with someone.
The
or
sun's
even
out, seasonal depression is out the window.
Yeah,
I'm
but
ready.
If it is not verbally declared, like,
Exactly.
hear ye.
You
let
my
me
woman. Do it
yes.
cavemanish.
Let me open up this scroll and read the Declaration of Non-Independence,
Scream it off
between
of
me
Pride
and this
Rock.
woman. Yes. Like, so you know what? I just, like, I'm still getting to know Shani's dating sometimes. Because I know Shani for a long time has been in a committed relationship.
Yeah.
So, like, seeing Shani D, like, on the street, I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't know what the line is.
But Snapchat, man, I wish that we could put this clip in there, because Cortney had a memory, and literally to the year, this is around the time where my hoe just awakens.
I feel like the world is not ready for my hotels, because when I am single, it is
Savage mode?
It is a savage mode. it is a combination of demands, premature demands, and just disappearances. Like,
oh no,
I just,
Keisha, you ghost. No, ma'am. You know that's a trigger for me.
you know what?
Oh my God.
I assess very quickly, and then I just leave because I'm so sensitive.
Get
You know
that
what I'm
bread,
saying?
Get that head.
And
leave.
leave, or maybe not. You know, just leave. Sometimes leaving is okay,
Ugh,
but like
I got a
only
tension headache.
the betrayal. Listen, if I can already tell that you about to be on some bullshit, I will see my way out,
Uh-huh.
never to be seen again.
Oh.
My blocked list, I have really been through some shit though. Like, I ain't really been through shit, but like it hurt me though. I'm a Leo. We sensitive.
Very
So like
feel a lot.
I'm like, listen, when I see the signs that are exhibiting, I'm like, listen, I can't be crying to my friends at a bar at 10 p.m.
I can.
on a Friday.
Why not?
I can. This is real life.
Y'all didn't like that shit when I was doing it. Don't do that. Y'all did not like that shit.
Okay.
I don't want to put y'all through that shit.
No. You can have, I'll give you 5 minutes
Oh no.
and then I'll be like, hey,
Mm-hmm.
go right to somebody's face.
Okay. And then you know what?
What?
No. Like I'm gonna take as long as I need. I took 3 years to heal.
Again, it's just two different reactions. Shawnee, she's just like, fuck it, go get on some other dick.
Shit.
I'm gonna be
Sorry.
like, girl, what you going through? Like, let's
I mean, if we're at the
process it.
club,
Let's
no,
hold
I
some
don't want to
space.
hear it at the
I
club.
feel that. But yeah, like you said, you'll give 5 minutes. I'm a little bit more empathetic to the fact that we're all human. And again, triggers happen.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter where you are in the world when they happen. If you're triggered, you're triggered.
True.
And at that point, you do just kind of have to do what needs to be done to kind of process that. And I'll just be the friend that'll, again, hold space for you in that moment and do what I can to kind of lift the mood and redirect the night to get back on track. I think that's all you really can do in that moment, unless the person just, if it's too overwhelming and you got to leave, then it's like,
Mhm.
I respect that.
I
But,
love that
Yeah.
friend.
yeah.
Honestly, like
We don't deserve her.
I tell people all the time that different friends have different roles, because sometimes
Absolutely.
you'll see people be like, I don't have time to talk to you about something
Absolutely.
that you don't want to change. And it's like, well, people can't always just change, fool. Like some
Absolutely.
people need to kind of heal through things, and they can't just get to the finish line just because you said, like, once or
it.
twice, right? But
Absolutely.
like, speaking of the club or whatever, like I feel like going when I was in my domain phase, and I used to go like every other day, every weekend, because I was sad in an unhappy relationship. I met a friend of mine, her name's Siobhan, and I met her because I was crying over like some old situation that I was still heartbroken about, and she started talking to me, like, I met her through some mutuals. She started talking to me about some guy she was in love with, and like she just started bawling, and I'm bawling, and I'm just like,
In the
"Girl."
club?
In the club, girl. I'm one of those friends too. Like, it's the club that gets you the saddest sometimes, because, child, you be
That's
you
the truth.
be
No,
it
for
be the
real.
club for me.
What
It really
club?
do be the club.
The drinks be
The
flowing,
drinks be
girl.
flowing.
That one song come on, and
Yeah.
you just like,
Lovers and friends.
oh, not the lovers and friends.
I don't, you know what? Don't take it back now. Don't do it, because it be like, I don't be drinking heavily at home.
Okay.
It be the club that
the
caused the
club.
emotions to come
I
out
really
against
do.
my will.
Yeah.
Yeah, we be in there sad, boy. That's where we met the nigga.
Okay.
We have all the memories of him right there in that very club.
Okay.
Okay.
Love in the club. Love and crying in the club.
But I love that. That takes us to like just being able to really discuss. We really wanted to be able to have a conversation about friendship. I think that all three of us, we have different roles in our friendships. We may have different stances and different experiences. And I think that this will be a great conversation just because of that. I think that we wanted to use some questions that we got from some of our audience members, right?
One of our viewers. What else do you call them? People
Listeners.
who listen. Listeners.
Yeah.
They submitted these, so hopefully these are a blessing to you. And yeah, because I feel these questions were all by this individual, so I really want her to like take it in, but also know that we are here. We are a sisterhood, a non-toxic sisterhood for her.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll go ahead and dive in, and Cortney will let you take the lead, and then each of us can give our perspectives. So the first question was, how vital are friendships to you?
Just friendships in general, I think, are monumental. I mean, there's been days, weeks, months that have just been shit, but like a few hours with my girlfriends, and it's like I am
Healed.
and it may just feel like, again, there's times where I've been able to pick up the phone and I've just not felt my best, and really had someone on the other end who sees me, because as an individual, we don't see ourselves. You know what I mean? Like, your mom can tell you every day how great you are, your dad, your parents, whoever, like your family unit. But like being able to see yourself through somebody's eyes just based on a conversation where somebody can just remind you who the fuck you are sometimes, like that's what friendship has been to me. And I feel like in some ways and some days, like sisterhood has saved my life, So I think friendships are extremely vital in one's life.
Yes, it's so funny that you quoted that. Get out of my mind.
I live there.
Because the corrupted file, when prior to me breaking down, I was like, they saved my life. I was like, I love them so much. They saved my life.
Absolutely.
And it's like, you owe nothing to me. Like, your family members, they're your family members. So by
chosen
default,
family. Yeah.
By default,
family.
you love them. But I choose to love my girlfriends.
Absolutely.
And I don't have sisters, so I choose to love them. And do I agree with some stuff that they do? No. But my love it supersedes that I'm like, you know what? Even though she's ran back to this person, I'm still going to love her through this.
Exactly.
So it's super vital for me because I should probably be in prison. So, if it wasn't for my mama's prayers and my girlfriend's, I'd be in prison. So that's how vital they are for me. They keep me in check when I need to be checked, but they also pour in that love when it's needed. So,
honestly, just like Shawnee kind of alluded to, we have reviewed these questions before and have attempted to answer them. And this was the hardest question for me. So I'll start, and I will try not to get too emotional because I already feel it coming. I don't want to, girl.
Okay.
I'm going to try not to. But I grew up kind of in a family where I never felt like I was connected to my family. I don't have a very close relationship with my family. I really don't have like a bond with my family in that way, except for my younger brother. But he's like severely autistic. So it's just a completely different bond. He's like nonverbal. And it's just through knowledge and just through history and legacy that I really understand him and he understands me. That family bond didn't come until I had my son, who's 13 now. And he remains to be like this miracle that just brought that human connection like unconditionally into my life, which may, that could be like an unhealthy way to look at it. But, I try to make sure that I have boundaries with him. But either way, like, that was what introduced my knowledge of just that unyielding human connection. He's obviously my child. But because of that, just not really having much of a connection with my family, I really leaned into friends. I was really, really dependent on having friendships because it was the only bond that I really had with people. So, excuse me.
Take your time, girl. Take your time.
Space.
This continues to be a very emotional subject for me.
Yeah.
So,
maybe you
it's
need
coming
to
from the heart.
Unpack that too.
Right. And
instead of suppressing, feel it.
Yeah.
I'm feeling it. I'm trying to, remain, somewhat put together.
It's
right?
a deep
I
one,
did
though.
do my makeup before I got here. But I leaned on my friends for a lot of my growing up, right? And I always had really great friendships. I was always really fortunate in that way to have great friendships. I remember when I got pregnant with my son, the father was not really in his life at all. It was just me and my baby. And I remember my friends took me in. Like, I lived with different friends for my pregnancy. I lived with my mom ultimately, and lived with her for a little bit. But like my friends rubbed my feet. They took care of me. They did. They made me feel like I didn't even feel like I deserved to feel. They made me feel so amazing and so taken care of in a time of such uncertainty. They just knew what to do. They threw me, my baby shower. My mother did too, but like my friends threw me my first baby shower, and they were there. There were like 7 people in the delivery room when I had my kid. um, I grew up knowing like the power of friendship, but and I think that I'm kind of the devil's advocate when it comes to these two, because while I do know that, I've had some really rough friend breakups in the last few years. Just went through a lot of metamorphosis in different ways in my life, spiritual awakenings, just understanding who I was, growing into myself. And I've had many exoduses like out of certain places. And I remember I had a best friend for years that I never felt was a best friend. It just felt like it was implied because of the environment that we were in. I know that I've said that I was in a cult. It was kind of a cult best friend. I had a lot of close friends. So those friendships were performative, right? They were kind of like, my best friend would be like, "You're my best friend." And I'm like, okay, I need a best friend in this church because this church/cult requires that, people here are like our closest friends. But I always had my true, friends that have always been there for me unconditionally. But just in the place that my mind was, I had these friends that I really wanted to be friends with, but it was never genuine. It just wasn't real. Friendships, I wasn't treated like a best friend. I wasn't treated like somebody that you actually wanted to confide in and speak to and live your life with. It was very performative, and there were so many, limitations just based off of the environment we were with. Like I've been in people's weddings that suddenly just cut me off whenever I left the cult completely. And I was friends with them for years, right? Going through all the motions, like my son cared about these people. So I think that, when did that happen? About 2019. So I think that that was kind of the beginning of me emancipating myself, but also seeing how fickle friendship could be. And this thing that kind of got me through my youth and a lot of the formative years of my life just became something that I just wasn't sure even if it was vital, because of how quickly things can change, how fickle it can be. You can give your all to people and you could lose them. And that's life in general, right? Like even if you lose someone through death or through, other circumstance, it just kind of embittered me for a while when it came to friends, because you could really give your all to people. Like you could really love people. And I'm talking about in groups, not just one person. I'm talking about I had an entire exodus, and it was for my well-being. And it was like all of these people that were a part of my life for years. I done been through people being diagnosed with, schizophrenia. I done been through pregnancies. I done been through weddings. I done been through metamorphosis. I've been through like different holidays, everything. I've been through all kinds of things with people, and it just amounts to nothing in the end. And it kind of warped my view of friendship. And then after that, it just felt like as I continued to go through like my spiritual awakening, there were just so many people that I loved so much that I felt were not showing up for me. And I felt like it became a pattern. Like there were times where my friends were the only thing that were keeping me feeling like I was connected to this world. Even at that point, right? There were still like a small select few people that I was like, these are my pillars, because I am going through all these changes. I don't know what's wrong with me. I don't know what's happening. I feel kind of untethered to anything, but my friends are the only thing. And then when it came down to it, it felt like they left too. Maybe because I was too much. I was going through too much. I was going through too much that I probably should have already went through. So I kind of have this way of thinking like, I don't know if I'm a bad friend or a bad person, or I don't know if I was just meant to lose all these people. because I don't like to be the type of person that blames everything on everyone, because that's just not possible. There's always a common, there's always a common denominator. I think that if there's one thing I've learned, though, is that the common denominator doesn't have to be that you're a bad person. It could be that you were evolving. You know what I'm saying? Or
Absolutely.
you were not supposed to,
There's
you're not supposed to have these people in your life at this time, or in general, they were supposed to help. Because my friends, like even the ones that are no longer really my friends or in my life, they really upheld me. And I'm not supposed to need to be upheld by my friends.
I mean, but that's what you needed in that season of your life.
Oh.
In that season.
And I think that's exactly that. Like you said, you have different friendships for different things. Like you've always had your core group of people who know you, who see you, who like that's family, your chosen family. And then you have these
outer quarters.
Yes, and these really deep experiences with people. And I think that is in itself a beautiful thing, that you do get to experience other people and that they do get to bring something to your life that you needed at that time. And I think once we start framing our mindsets, we don't own people, we just live this experience
them.
So all we get to do is experience them, appreciate what they brought to our life in that moment, and we have that now, so we know what we're looking for in our next phase, our next chapter of life, as we go on and make even more connections, because that's what this life is. We're ever connected.
That's right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Who's to say those experiences, those that you considered your best friend at that time, that you're not going to meet them in another season.
Right.
Because Cortney and I almost broke up.
We did.
Well, no, actually we did.
We did. We had a breakup.
We broke up, and it was rough.
It was a nasty breakup.
It was
They don't talk about it enough. Like friendship breakups
are the worst. I didn't
top
eat.
tier pain. Like that's what I'm saying.
I cried all the time.
She's all I talked about for like 3 weeks, like 100%. But no,
Keisha,
seriously.
you remember?
I was about to say, I remember the text
It was a
messages. It was
time.
very much given.
It was a
We've
time.
come to the end of the road. Still, I
Shoot.
can't let go. Like it was very
Come
much
on,
given boys to
boyfriend.
men.
Come on. Yeah.
But you know what? Like, got me. Like, I had to check myself. I was like, okay, girlfriend, do you want to be right? Or what is it, wrong and strong? And throw this shit away? Or do you want to swallow your pride and still have, I consider Cortney one of the loves of my life. So do you want to like swallow that and continue on? Or do you just want to sit there and be like, oh yeah, whatever? No, I didn't, because I would probably be still crying. Honestly.
100%. But I think that's, especially in friendships, like a good friendship,
You better go through some highs and lows.
you are so vulnerable. Like
Yeah.
and I think that that's also like a big part of like weeding out real from fake. You know what I mean? Like you can have connections with people, but it could just be very surface level. Like you don't know somebody until you've seen they're ugly. You know what I mean? And you choose to love them through it unbiasedly without shaming them, just because you want to see that person
Unconditional.
grow and glow like they can. You know what I mean? And I just feel like that vulnerability piece is really what sets apart the real from the fake, because when you can see somebody through their darkest, ride their highs with them just as much as you're riding their lows, like
Their garbage disposal.
yeah, I just think that's worth fighting for. And it takes a level of self-awareness, communication,
That part.
responsibility,
Oh my God, yes.
and ownership. And but it's work. Like friendships are work.
Yes.
It's
And
a
I'm
That's
relationship.
just all relationships, right?
A
I
relationship.
wanna move us to the next question, because all the stuff you said is relevant to it. So I want to ask, when do you know when it's time to let a longtime friend go? When is the work done?
I want to. Can I divert to Shani on this one, because I feel like our perspectives differ here, but
So, okay, kind of intertwining the last one, how I said that Cortney and I had broken up. I had experienced that before, 10 years prior. So that immediately came to my mind. I had a really, really close friend. We're still friends. Like, They're gonna invite me to their wedding, but are we as close as we once were? No, and it was because I was stubborn, and this person reached out to me, and I was like, "Fuck you, bitch, not talking to you." And by the time I got over that, it was too late.
Wow.
And that's like one of the regrets in my life that I'm like, now I just get to see your highlights on social media. And I was like, I'll be damned. I will be damned if I see Courtney's
highlights.
freaking
My highlights be highlighting, baby.
Is that right?
Okay.
No, I'm going to be in those highlights. So
And is.
But
when do you know? I've never experienced that outside of, my stubbornness.
I'll let you know.
Okay.
Pass the ball.
I have not.
okay.
When do you know? I don't know. I think I gravitate to or draw genuine people like that I consider my inner court. I don't think that I ever have to excuse myself from that friendship. So I don't know.
Okay. Did you want to go next, Cortney?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Can't relate.
I too feel I have attracted some very genuine people. I think I'm a great judge of character. So when I let people get close to me, like when I call you a friend, like we locked in, and that comes with certain expectations. And it's not in terms of like availability or things of that nature. It's just like when I need a friend, I need to know I can count on my friends, So if I've seen examples where that's not the case, where I'm not being shown up for in the way that I would show up for you, that's a red flag. And for me, I love hard. So I do have a bad habit of giving chances. I do. But ultimately, I'm very self-aware, and I expect my friends to be self-aware at our big age as well. So me, if I love you, I'm going to sit you down. I'm going to have a conversation. I'm going to tell you exactly what I need as a human, an individual, someone who loves you and is not feeling the love back. I'm going to tell you, like, this is what I need. Like, I need this from you.
If I can interject.
Absolutely.
You did this to me, what was it, 2020 when I went to jail?
Fresh out. Yeah.
Yes, and I was like, oh my God, that was such an attractive flex that Cortney had, because she sat me down and she was like, hey, I didn't like this. This is what you can do to, do better. And that's love, because you give someone the opportunity
Exactly.
to change.
Exactly.
So you've been exercising that a lot.
I have, thank you.
You're real comfortable.
I am now, but it took so long to get there. It took me into my 30s to be able to really set boundaries with my friends, because I feel like I'm a good friend.
Yeah.
So I feel like
you're gonna respect me.
You gonna respect that, because really and truly, I am a prize just as much as you are. And if I don't feel like you are valuing me, I'm gonna speak up, give you an opportunity to do better. And if not, we may have one more conversation about it. But, maybe that third strike, you're out, baby. Like, at the end of the day, and it may not be all the way out, because once I love you for life. But it's just like, now I got to take a couple steps back. Now I got to.
You're now in the outer court.
You're going to see my highlights a little bit more than being invited to come sit at my table, and that's okay. Because this may not be our season. We may have to circle back around. Like, at that time, I feel like that's the universe telling me, like, if somebody is not going to respect my boundary, or I tell them what I need and they're just not hearing it, okay, maybe
choosing not to hear it.
This just is not for us to move forward at this time, and I got to be okay with that, because I'm choosing me over the disrespect or the lack of attention or whatever the case may be.
Honestly, like, I feel like I am the cautionary tale in all of this. Don't be like me, okay? Don't be like me. Honestly, like, I don't have. If I were to have all this criteria for friends, I wouldn't have friends. Straight up. Like, I wouldn't have friends.
I don't think it's a criteria.
I don't know that it's a criteria either.
If I had to assess, like, who shows up, I'd probably have, like, one friend or two friends. Like, I don't, and I'll answer, and I'm going to answer the question, but I wanted to start with that, not as, like, a woe is me, but as a, like, how do you know it's time to let go? Honestly, it's whenever there's just a pattern of behaviors that show where you stand with this human being. Like, I've been in situations where I've had to make that decision, and I'm going to add another additive, and it's the why. Honestly, what I said before, being so dependent on my friends because I didn't have that bond with my family. It's beautiful, but then it also lowers, expectations from people. Like I'm building that now, but this expectation of people that is healthy and that actually mirrors what I give. And I know that sounds so narcissistic because it's like, oh, I give so much and you don't give me anything. You don't give me enough. Give me more. But honestly, like I was telling them kind of off the record that I have always had this tendency to attract people, even guys, relationships where I felt like they just needed so much. And I had like, you know what I'm saying? Like nurturing because of maybe trauma. They're kind of, stalled or in some way kind of, they're not as evolved. And I just tend to love those people. And I feel like I have failed to love myself in that same way for a large chunk of my life. So it's been in the last few years where I've started to go through that process of self-love for the first time in my life that has caused all of this realization of the friends that I've attracted into my life. So I know that there'll become a season where everything will align again and I'll kind of have the relationships and the friendships. It might be with the same people, but it'll just be different now because of the evolution.
Everyone's evolving.
Yes, we're all evolving, but I truly did come from the depths of self-hate and, not really understanding who I am and my worth. And I think that now that is an energy that I'm working on, kind of dispelling, I know that I'm going to see a change in kind of my core friendships. And of course, like I have good friends. Don't get it twisted. I'm not trying to say that I'm alone in the world, but I just think that what I have done in my life, in my 20s, in my teens, is create dynamics that are not always even. So I think that moving, like when I've known that I needed to let it go is whenever it is just completely apparent that I just don't matter to you. You know what I'm saying? Like I've been in those situations. But I also have to take accountability within myself to determine why. Why is that something that happens? Why would that happen? So yeah.
I just think if people make you feel shitty about yourself, or
Those
just
aren't your
don't
people.
make you feel supported, those are not your people. Exactly. Like, how does this person make me feel?
Yeah.
Like, that's an important thing. I don't think we ask ourselves that enough. Like, I think, like you said, as women, we're nurturers. Like, it is, almost second nature for women. It's, people to put others before themselves or consider others before themselves. So just being really mindful of just like, how does this person, this situation, their actions, how does that make me feel? And if it's not good, don't give your energy to it. That is not a friend.
Because energy is a currency.
Exactly. Or if it's somebody who's been in your life long standing, maybe that's a situation where it's worth a conversation because I don't like the way you're making me feel. And if you change behavior is the only acceptable response in that situation, because that's what love is.
I think that love truly is, though, and I've had to, again, being on the other side of that, is love is looking at someone and realizing that you chose wrong. Maybe at a point of which you were not at your best. And this is the best they can do. And it's just not conducive. Yeah, it's just not conducive to you. Maybe you've evolved or maybe you weren't being true to yourself for a long period of time.
Yeah.
But I have had to look at people that were dear to me and realize they're not going to be there for me in the way that I need.
Yes.
And there have been times where I've been really upset and I've revolted.
Yeah.
And there have been times where I've just had to be sad because it's really on me at the end of the day. And it's a reflection of who I was. And I just have to, sometimes I wonder, am I ever going to find a tribe? You know what I'm saying? That's there with me.
I'm sorry, excuse me. Let me
Oh, look, she mad now.
Because you do have your tribe, accept it.
Okay. Okay.
You have your tribe. Now, like I said, you need to unpack in order to let that tribe come in and love on you.
she did say that.
There's only so much that you can do from outside the club. Let me inside the club.
Period.
Let us inside the club. And I know you've mentioned sometimes that you're like, you know, you've met some genuine people from me because I only hang out with genuine people. But I don't own them. I do not own them. And I want people to experience you. I want people to experience Cortney because y'all are some bomb-ass women. And I'm not a gatekeeper.
That's growth, though, because in her early 20s,
Yeah,
she very much
I was
was.
a gatekeeper.
She very much was
I
a
was.
territorial friend.
My friend,
This is
mine.
growth. This is growth.
But
just want
mean,
y'all to know.
Ever evolving.
I'm glad. Yeah, but I'm glad for that. You know, but at the same time, that's the other aspect too. Is like I say, I'm a common denominator, so I have to. There's all types of other things too, like just attachment styles and the way that I view what people see in me, my ability to communicate that stuff. Like all of that stuff could be factors, but I don't know. Like if you're saying that, then maybe I need to look into that. And I'm fine with being called out on that here. Like
No,
we all
because
need to be called
honestly,
out.
I'll tell you, Courtney went on a date with a friend that she met through me. And old Shawnee,
Oh, my goodness.
old Shawnee would have been like, what the fuck? But I was like, yes, girls, go out.
Because she had plans.
No, I had no idea. I had already made the plans, but I mean, I could have been at home. Besides, I was broke, so I couldn't afford any of these. I knew what my budget was.
Oh
and
yeah, I saw that.
and it wasn't.
It was a
Eddie
late birthday dinner.
Okay, but the point is that, you know, they are starting to cultivate a friendship, and that's what life is about. Like, you're going to click with other people.
Yeah.
I'm not here to just. Courtney is an amazing person, but I think that other people should experience her. I'm
Yeah,
not going to be
same
selfish,
friend.
and vice versa,
Aw.
You are.
We're still getting used to the cameras, guys.
You're an amazing person, and I know that. So I feel like other people should experience that. Who am I to gatekeep? Nobody.
true.
That's selfish.
I will say, though, on the opposite end of that coin, don't feel like just because you're in close proximity with somebody that's your friend.
Yeah.
Oh
'cause
yeah.
Okay.
Oh honey, please.
I think at
Because-
our big age we have
Please.
discernment. at
I
the
would
same
hope.
time.
I would hope.
Yeah.
But, you know, there may be some listeners who are up and coming who aren't as
True.
mature.
You have to
Long in the tooth.
You have to realize quality.
Quality, baby.
That's
over quantity.
the thing, quality, which that takes me to our next question.
Mm.
How do you build strong female friendships? And I think that takes discernment. That comes with time.
Oh, yeah.
Some
my
people
gosh,
may
yeah.
be lucky and just have it, you know,
Yes.
from jump, but some people may not. And honestly, it may sound super cliche, but actions speak louder than words. Like, even if I don't need you, there are some times where some of my girlfriends, just the vibe, just the energy, they may feel anxious. And I'm like, yo, what's up with you?
Yes.
You don't have to tell me shit, but I just I feel it. And I can just tell. But that's because you've taken time to learn that person. You've, you know, spent time with them. You give a fuck.
Yeah.
It's pretty much what it is. And again, I always say I'm not above correction. And with love, you have to be able to correct somebody. So if I'm not able to correct you, then I don't feel close to you.
Period.
Oh yeah.
Because you should know that me correcting you is never coming from a place of malice. It's coming from a place of love. And I may see something that you don't see. That's in your blind side, you know? And if I bring it up to you, it's literally out of love. So vulnerability, love, compassion, and grace. I
Yeah.
feel that's how you build strong female friendship. And it's never competition. It's
No.
literally all love.
I think that takes some learning to, because again, like being blessed, it is a blessing to, like for me especially, my like you were saying, my family life, like my relationship with my mom, phenomenal. Like she set the tone for women for me, you know what I mean? So she just made me feel so loved and welcome that's like all I put out. So I know genuine people, and I really do pride myself on the relationships that I have with my girlfriends. But at the same time, that's allowed me to be very vulnerable off jump.
Yeah.
Whereas some women don't feel that safe.
They feel like it's a competition.
Or they may feel they can't handle
What I have.
the constructive feedback, or if or they may not receive it as love. They may receive it as criticism, and they may look at you as like, ugh, like this bitch just try to call me
Hating.
out, or where it's not received that way. So I think that's something that I had to learn with one of my close friends, is that I am very much that friend that's gonna hold your feet to the coals. And when you had somebody who's never had that,
Mm.
that seems very
Abnormal.
abnormal. It may seem like they're being attacked, so they may think that, that's coming from a place of just like anger, or like you're trying to judge them or criticize them, rather than, just showing love and letting them know like, hey, this is where you could be better, and like
Because you
take
want
it
to
as
see your
such.
friend win.
Exactly. So I think that's also very important, is to know what kind of friend you dealing with. Like, meet them where they're at emotionally, so that they can receive the feedback.
But also, don't you feel that you need to challenge them too?
No, absolutely. When I say meet them where they're at, because I know that I have a strong personality, I like to kind of get if I'm talking to somebody who I know I may be perceived as like aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
I'm starting the conversation off with, I just want you to know, like, this
Yeah.
is from a place of love. I don't mean to come at you in a
I'm
way
not coming
that
at you.
exactly. I'm not trying to come at you. I'm trying to talk, communicate, find a resolution to move forward. And some people need kind of like that extra level of care in the conversation, whereas Shawnee, you could be a very shoot first, ask questions later, and you have rubbed people the wrong way as a result. And that's what I'm saying. And so like that kind of abrasiveness off front will rattle some people.
Yeah.
Whereas like
It is
you
too
really
much.
kind of have to know your friend, or who you're really trying to build that deep relationship with, so that you can be received the way that you are intending to be received.
It's very wise.
Yeah.
We're wise bitches.
Just wise. Just lived, honey.
Live, laugh, love.
I feel like the big thing to add to that is just show up.
Yeah.
You got to show up if you want to build a close friendship with
Yes.
people.
In any capacity that you can.
Yes.
Sometimes you just got to show up in the capacity that's needed too. Like you got to be
Okay,
able to be, you know what I'm saying? Like you should be able to bend a little bit. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
yeah.
It's not easy all the time. You know what I'm saying? To show up, but you know,
Sometimes it's uncomfortable
yeah.
to show up. Like you're like, I really don't want to show up.
I
if I'm
think-
being 100% honest.
Yeah.
Shawnee,
Because I got my own shit.
I think that you're particularly the friend that I will say shows up the most for me, which is, just thought I should give you your flowers, honey,
Absolutely.
so
Oh,
while
thank
you
you.
could smell them. I'm like, Shawnee shows up. She'll be there no matter what, and I appreciate that.
I try to, because I think to myself, I don't like to think that like I hold record, but I do.
Yeah, we all do.
Hey, I'm being 100%.
Yeah.
I do
Be
hold
for real.
record, and I think that's why I still have a lot of genuine people around me.
Mm-hmm.
But I try to be the friend that I need and
Yep.
that I want,
Yeah.
So that's why I say I'm never above correction, because I understand people, life is freaking hard. It's hard. So I understand people have their own shit, but even with me going through my shit, and I know somebody else is going through something that I've possibly gone through, hey, I'm gonna check on you. If it's even just a text message or a FaceTime or just a freaking emoji,
Mm-hmm.
I will try to let you know I'm thinking of you. I'm thinking of whatever you're going through. I'm here with you. Call me.
Yeah.
Beat
I may
me
not have.
if you want to reach
yeah,
me.
if I may not have any words, but I can be there. You can feel me. My presence, my energy. Know that I care about you. So, I'm glad that you feel that,
Yeah.
because I try.
I know. I see it. I see it. But So we don't have any more friendship questions.
We don't.
But I know that we've been, rambling on for a little bit. Hopefully people have found this insightful. I know that I have, and I'm here.
Yeah.
Damn it. So I know somebody feel this out there.
It's refreshing.
Okay. This hard for me, girl. You talking about you refreshed.
No, it's refreshing because friendships can be.
I'm low-key shaking.
It's a relationship, and sometimes relationships you have your highs and your lows. It can get murky, but you know what? If you can look at your shit and know that it smells, hey, you're self-aware.
Period.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. I always say I can't wait until I retire and Liam has us in in our retirement resort, because I'm not going to a retirement home. I'm going to a retirement resort
In Florida. Yeah.
No. I don't want hurricanes.
We'll discuss it another time.
I'm going to be in the city. I'm a city girl. So I'm going to be in Manhattan, Upper East Side.
She just says whatever.
Yeah, with my girls.
Can we do a Cali resort?
Oh, okay. We can be bi-coastal.
Okay,
Hey, it's on
yeah.
Liam. I don't care. It's on Liam. But I think about that and I'm just like, I forgot where I was going. I'm a little tipsy.
Do you just get happy that you'll be able to spend your old days with your friends?
The
Yes!
box wine kicked in,
Yes.
though.
Oh my God. I am so, I had my college experiences through my friends. I was never actually, I did community college and I was like, this isn't for me. But I still experienced a little bit of the college life on campus with my girlfriend. So I think like round 2 is going to be at the retirement resort.
It's lit.
You are hilarious.
It is going to be lit, baby. And the way that this is going, I may retire early.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, no.
You and all these paprika
Hey, I may retire early. I may be
seasoned man.
at the not paprika. I may be at the retirement resort with my boo. Shortly. I'm retired too.
With my boo.
Learning the ropes. Okay. Let's do like a quick lightning round of some of these last questions, and then
Okay.
we will wrap up from there. And guys, just so you know, you can find us at Hot Mom. Blah, blah, blah.
Mess Momllennials.
Thank you,
And I
Shawnee.
was the one that
You
was
can keep
tipsy.
that in because sometimes we are a hot mess. I don't know how I got that wrong. All I do is live and breathe this, and I ain't got no damn job. But
Hey,
if
it's
you
coming.
Hold on. It is coming.
okay,
Claim
it's
it.
coming.
But if you do have some leads, let us know.
Let us
You know
know.
your girl, project management, customer success
All right
management,
now.
Hey.
account
Who
management, B2B,
All right. I know that's right.
Come on, education psychology degree,
Hey.
okay, project mapping, project
Received.
workflow, all that stuff.
Received.
Find me, please.
Okay.
Find me. Okay. But anyway, if you would like to ask us any questions or, offer some leads, because a bitch would like to see this come to fruition quickly,
that's
okay?
real.
Because a bitch want this money to I want to keep a little something.
Money trees.
I'm trying
Yes.
to go on vacation. It's almost Leo season.
Girl, yes, thank you. But if you have any questions just for our Q&A for the next episode, just drop it in our inbox via Instagram at Hot Mess Momllennials. And then we can go from there. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can inbox us as well via YouTube or
Just
leave a
find us.
comment.
Do the work.
Just do the work, yes. So I'm going to ask some
Worth
quick
it.
questions. We're going to have some quick answers.
Okay.
So as Black Latinas, we all are, how do you show up in your community? We'll start with Cortney.
Just by being a representative of my whole self. There you go. There it is. That way. Really and truly, I've always kind of struggled with that identity. My mom is a full-fledged Mexican woman, beautiful lady. Love her to death.
Love her like a
I-
mother.
Weed mama.
Okay. I picked up my father's pigmentation. And on top of that, grew up in a predominantly white
Ugh.
town.
Mhm.
Shout out to Hutto, Texas.
H-Town.
H-Town. Okay, hardly home, but always repping. So for me, again, I was in a sea of whites. I looked black. My Mexican mom was coming to support me. My Negro father, whom I love dearly, wouldn't allow. My mom is fluent in Spanish. So all that to say, I struggle with my identity, but I still try to lean in as best I can. You know, you'll catch me on the dance floor giving a little.
Come on, give it a little merengue.
Okay, Cinco de Mayo is lit. But I just being a representative, here I am, you know. So for somebody who looks like me, resonates with me, we got Latinos at Woofum sparked at my corporate job. So
Come on now.
making strides, you know, just trying to represent, show up, be my best self.
Honestly, I show up in them damn questionnaires when you're trying to fill out job applications and shit. When they're
Period.
like, "Are you black, not Hispanic and Latino?" And I'm like, "I'm not finna play with this bullshit. I am
Right.
Hispanic and Latino. Period. Okay. So everything keeps going back to me being unemployed. So I filed for unemployment. I filed for unemployment for the first time in my life. You know, it was a whole thing. And the lady on the phone with me that's helping me do the application, she's black, and you know, she's asking just the normal questions, and she asked the damn classification questions. You know, what's your gender? You know, and then she asked me the question, you know, what is, you know, your ethnicity? And it was hard.
Complicated.
It shouldn't be hard because it's not
not.
complicated. No, the fuck it's not.
not.
It's not complicated. We are Hispanic, and you would not second guess. So my response was Hispanic Latino. Like I said it immediately because it was what I've always been putting in these job applications. She was like, "Girl, now you know you need to stop. Your name is Keisha Smith, okay?" And I felt like I really felt so triggered by that because I was
Yes.
like, well, that's my name, but
Period.
both of my parents are immigrants from Panama.
Okay, you would not be able to understand them.
Right.
Your mama, yes, because she is an educated woman, and she is
Yes.
well, your daddy too, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, like
She's an educator.
this wouldn't be a question for, you know, Matt Martinez.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like this
Yes.
just wouldn't be a question. It wouldn't matter if he even spoke Spanish or not.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? So showing up, you know, as a black Latina, it's tough, but I guess I show up through my damn job applications.
I know that's right.
On the
They gonna
cool.
know. They gonna know.
Because Lord knows that's the only way y'all know. Okay, Shadi, what about you?
How do I show up? Well, I'm having a resurgence
Mm-hmm.
of Mueve con Sazon.
Yes.
I am planning. I have something up my sleeve, but
For those who don't know what Mueve con Sazon is.
it is my nonprofit.
Oh.
Yes,
Okay.
and that is going to have. I'm going to have something going on this summer. I don't want to say too much because I don't really have shit planned, but it's on my
Coming
agenda. Coming soon. But how do I show up? I'm just me. Sometimes I forget the English language,
Mm-hmm.
and I have to ask, like, how do you say it in English?
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like there is a renaissance of Black Latinos coming about, and I'm so excited because people happen to forget. I think, especially in North America, people tend to forget that the transatlantic slave trade did not just stop in North America. Okay, it stopped in the Caribbean, Central, South America, shit, probably in Hawaii.
Come on,
I don't know
history.
about
Right.
that, but
They all black over there
okay,
somehow.
it happened.
Okay.
So I try to through my social media. I try to do that with my child. It takes me a moment to do so, but I am actively trying to only speak Spanish to him. But it's hard because my parents aren't here anymore. Well, they're still alive, but you know they're not here
in Texas.
in Texas. So
They've
I'm
relocated.
so we're not listening or interacting with solely just Spanish. So I'm taking conscious steps of doing that. And I think that starting the relaunch of Mueve con Sazon is going to do that. I think people want that. They need that.
The streets
Yeah.
are
They're,
calling
people
for it.
ask me, and I'm like,
All the
I only
time.
had one event, and it was lit, I guess.
It was.
I would like to release my Afro Latina isms, you know, from just beyond job applications.
No,
So
I feel
please
like-
bring it to
Absolutely.
us.
Yes, because I feel like we're unique. People don't understand because you have West Indie, and it's just a plethora. And what I said is a little complicated when it comes to like job applications because people don't understand the difference between race and ethnicity.
Yes. Thank you.
Yes.
Teach them.
So race-wise, yes, I am Black, African American. I don't know about my mama, but me, I am. But ethnicity-wise, culturally, I am a Latin woman when it comes to like how I do my laundry, how I cook and stuff like that. I am a Latin woman
Sure is.
through and through.
Were you not born in Panama?
I was born in Panama. That's the
Right.
thing. But people mistaken that as far as like race and ethnicity.
Mhm.
Because there are some white Latinos. They should put white. And then their ethnicity Latino. Me, I put black and Latino. Because my race is black. I am black.
Yes. Yes.
There's no
it's almost like a
denying that.
classification based off of skin color,
Exactly.
but not based off of nationality. I feel like that's the big
Exactly.
word.
And I think that's just in America. Because anywhere
Yep.
else, like, you're just based off of your nationality.
But honestly, I know this is going into a whole. We can't let this go. This is really important.
Mhm.
First of all, like why do you guys think? And I'm going to answer first. But why do y'all think that there's an issue with that,
With what?
specifically within the Black community, with being very proud and indignant about the fact that you are culturally different, as far literally culturally, right?
And
I-
I put my historian hat on.
I mean, as far as I go, I see so much hate whenever like women are saying, you know, I'm not African American. Like my family's from, you know, Ghana or from Jamaica or from, you know, Panama, Cuba, whatever. And it seems like there's like beef. And I'm like, nah, sister, brother,
black.
don't sit there and get attitude, okay? And I wonder, but I get mad and I get defensive, but then I also wonder why. And I feel like it's that mystery of where they come from.
Right.
Yeah.
Mind you, we all have our mysteries because at the end of the day, just like you said, the slave trade, like it came for all of us. It just stopped in different places. My family just stopped in a different place. Okay.
Different continent, baby.
And the history here in the United States is just, for Black people, is just so, you know, traumatic that it carries on. Like that's another, like it just carries on, like even right now to like people that are, you know, younger than me, younger than my generation.
Mhm.
And it's just like seeing a woman like myself or Cortney or Shawnee, where we can say our culture is traced to something that is not this traumatic, you know, country for
Right.
Black people. I don't want to say this because I don't want people to get mad, but I almost feel like it creates a sense of almost like envy.
Oh. No,
And I don't, and you know, that's the only word that I could come up with because it is something that we grieve, or, you know, that people grieve because they can't say, oh, my family's from Nigeria. Like, you know, this is what we do. We can wear these garbs and do these
Right.
things because it's met with so much vitriol at times.
Well, it was robbed. It
Yeah.
was robbed in
Yes.
North America. It was robbed, that culture.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been met with that where I don't like people to call me exotic because
Mm-mm.
I'm not.
No.
Okay. And it comes to hair. I get
Yeah.
annoyed by that. And it's like,
Ooh, hair.
I have some cousins who have what people would consider bad hair, but they're fair skinned. They're freaking fair skinned. They're lighter than probably my son, and
Mhm.
he's half white.
Mhm.
So it all comes to that. But I think ultimately is the divide where historian hat. You know, plantation owners, you had your house slave, your field slave. That was a divide. And I think that also comes into play with international Black people, you know?
Mhm.
And it's sad. I don't want to dive into I'm very passionate about this, but we're all the same at the end of the day. We
All
came
of
from
us.
Africa. It just stopped. The slave boat just stopped in different areas.
Mhm.
I know merengue. I wish I knew how to what is that? Not calypso, but jadico, or is it jadico?
Zydeco.
Zydeco?
Zydeco.
Ma'am.
I wish I knew how to. What is it again?
Zydeco, baby.
Zydeco. But I feel like that's the Louisiana merengue,
Essentially.
in my opinion. And again, ultimately, people love to imitate any melanated person around the world.
Mhm.
Okay. So, pretty much, no, I love white people. Okay. I procreated with white
Where
people.
did we get?
Disclaimer. But I mean,
Just so that
they
y'all know.
honestly, back in the day, there was a lot of division, and it's sad that that's carried on into today. But that's where we're at. But it takes people to really unpack that and be like, yeah, we're not going to push that agenda. We're all special in our own way. If you're North American, African American, Central American, South American, fucking Alaska, I don't care. We all have our own Sazon.
Period.
Mm-hmm.
And that should be highlighted.
Absolutely. I think that's
Celebrated.
also why it's important that we just show up as best we can and all of our greatness every day, because again,
people don't know
people
what they don't know.
what they don't
Oh my
know.
gosh,
like to see people's
besties.
faces when you like go into a full Hispanic conversation, a Spanish conversation. Like the other day we had an Uber situation where we needed to talk to this man
I
who
don't
we
like
thought
to.
was our Uber
I
driver,
don't like to.
but he only spoke Spanish. And we're like, Shawnee D, we need you. We need you over here. And she just does what she needs to do to
Mm-hmm.
communicate for us. But like that's a way of just showing up, just showing people that like
We have to break that
Afro Latinas exist.
what the stereotypical mold of what a Spanish speaking individual looks like.
That.
Because honestly, I think Panama has showed me a lot. There's Chinese people who speak Spanish.
Yeah.
There are Indians from India
Yeah.
that speak Spanish fluently. Like that is their first language. But I've been exposed to that because,
Exactly.
I've been outside of North America and they're small-minded.
But the duality
Notions.
of the both of those things is a beautiful thing. Like
Yes.
black is beautiful, baby,
it
and
is-
it's like to be able to merengue and still back that ass up, to
Hey.
Right. And do the wobble to
the
perfection.
wobble, to know the black acronyms and to be able to ja. I think is a beautiful thing. Like that duality is so beautiful,
Yes, and not many can do it,
and
baby.
not many can do it.
So
And
that's a superpower.
And I feel like we're all one, regardless. We all
Yes.
bring something to the
Absolutely.
table.
Exactly.
We all are
sometimes
important.
We need a casserole.
My son
I
is so
wasn't there.
stupid. Sometimes Orion is like Riley Freeman from Damn the Boondocks. If you ever
Riley,
bring
oh
a
my God.
casserole into my home, my son will roast
I
you,
love a
I
good
love
casserole. child.
roast the
Orion,
hell out of
yeah.
you. Listen, I used to make casseroles. Orion don't remember. God
ain't
forbid
never
I make
made
one
a
now.
casserole. I
It
ain't
sounds like
never
you
made
got
a
casserole PTSD.
Listen, my casseroles was good. Fuck you, girl.
No, I'm just saying.
I don't know about
Another
that.
casserole. You can do a lot with a casserole.
I'll
Tonight
make
it's
a
taco
risotto
casserole.
tonight, bitch, and
Okay.
then knock your socks off. Don't
I
do
have
that.
never
No,
made
no,
a
no,
casserole
what's
in my
knocking
life.
it? I'm just saying, like, you know
That ain't
how
even a
Popeyes used to
casserole.
do the $2 Tuesday, so it's 99 cents.
Oh my gosh.
Every Tuesday, my brother would go get the baby some chicken. My nephew was like, fuck Popeye's chicken.
Oh,
So that's why I was like, the casseroles was you just introducing like a different casserole every night. And he was just like,
baby, I just
don't bring a
bonding
casserole
moment.
over here.
baby, the
Mama.
same casserole thing. Put it in the oven.
That's
just
it.
cheese,
I know
potatoes,
it. Ooh, I know
bacon,
it.
whatever.
Nah.
Broccoli sometimes. Come on,
Yeah.
casserole.
That 2-piece Tuesday?
That's
My mama and Liam, that was their bonding
Girl.
experience. She loved the 2-piece Tuesday, baby.
Mhm.
I will never forget how black people acted when
Churches.
The chicken sandwich came
for
out.
one, the chicken sandwich, but there was one time when Oprah paid.
Yeah.
It was
What was
Oprah. There was like
like?
free chicken at Popeyes, all
Oh my gosh, she
locations.
needs to run that back.
Oh my God. But the lines were through the door. Popeyes done been through it. I know them workers have been
I don't like
working
how
for the
black
past-
people. I don't like how we act
we
when it
do
comes to
much.
Popeyes and stuff. I don't
Popeyes
like
special
no.
No, if
releases.
chicken went out
Have
of
y'all
style,
tried that strawberry biscuit though from Popeyes?
Fuck no,
I
and I will
did.
never.
I
I
did.
didn't know.
Nuh-uh.
I did.
that was a thing.
Baby, it
But
still is.
Courtney,
right now.
Courtney,
Right
you
now,
went
it's
to Arby's once too, so I know you goddamn try anything.
Listen,
Got me
I
cussing
did.
in here.
I did go to Arby's.
Baby, how was that? That's what I want to know.
This
How
year,
was
for the
Arby's?
No,
first
we are
time.
not giving Arby's any
I
like because I don't
did.
even know how they're
I
selling.
want to know what
I
the
didn't
meat
know
was
either.
like. How
That's
was the
why I
meat?
had to
Ew.
go. That's why I had to go. The meat.
No, ew, it's questionable.
It's still questionable.
That's
I
nasty,
mean, they do
Courtney.
got
I'm
some
judging
good.
you.
I'm sorry, I'm
that's fine.
hollering, child.
That's
I'm-
fine.
I'm-
It's fine. Market research. But there's one by my house, and I was like, I've seen plenty.
By the grace of God.
And I'm just like, who is keeping Arby's open?
Right.
please. We
Right.
gotta do
I
market
literally had to
research.
drive by to go look at the menu and like see like what does Arby's really have to
Oh,
offer?
ugh.
Because I
Exactly.
remember in college when we would lose a game, That's where our coach would take us, like as a punishment, and I would only order tots.
So
Fries, the curly
Arby's has
fries.
been hated for this long, and yet
So
it's still
long.
open.
Still open.
But Toys R Us closed. We love Toys R
Okay,
Us.
that's why I was just.
I'm
I had to go
upset.
see for myself.
I'm sorry, girl, but how was it? What was the consensus? You said it was questionable.
It
Ew.
still was questionable.
Did you have gas?
the fries? Was
Your tummy
it
was
did not?
rumbling.
It did not tear my stomach up. It did not do
Okay.
that.
Oh
It did
my
not
God.
do that. But it's still
The
it's,
meats, honey.
Well, you
It's
know what?
the meats.
I can't judge. I ate seafood from a gas station.
Exactly.
Y'all
Come on
remember
now.
roast beef sandwiches from like elementary and middle school? Was it
No.
like that?
No.
Did they do it in middle?
Y'all
oh,
don't
like
remember
in
that?
The, like
No,
the
my mom
packaged
made me
ones?
my lunches, rice and beans.
My mama sent me to school with some money, so I could get
Not
some.
rice and beans
Maybe
and
it's just
no
me,
meat
child.
because my dad ate the meat before the night before.
Crazy.
So
It
rice
just-
and beans.
Yeah, it's not. I still
Okay.
don't know who's keeping Arby's open, but they doing that.
Probably
Okay.
the elderly,
It definitely
just
is.
like Luby's.
Listen, if you
Okay.
eat at Arby's, you just
You like-
comment this in YouTube, or you can
I know,
inbox us at
baby.
Hot Mom,
Tell
Mess
them what to
Momllennials.
order.
I'm gonna learn what the name
What's
of
your
this
order?
And
shit is
judging
eventually.
You, if you
Okay.
eat at Arby's, Luby's, Long John Silver's, I'm judging you.
Like, what do you have to say for yourself? The meats?
Ew.
Is it that worth it? The meats, honey?
Okay, we're
What does
not
that
gonna
do
talk
for
about
you?
Luby's though. The cafeteria style.
Didn't Luby's
cuisine.
get shut down?
There's
No,
still
it's
one
still on
holding.
and
There's still
hopping
one
off of,
holding
like,
it down.
183.
Yes, ma'am.
Baby, no.
Is it right, like adjacent to a retirement home? Like the biggest
Exactly.
one in town?
Right? Because my grandparents would take me to Luby's. That's what when I think of Luby's, I think of the elderly.
Maybe that's why I love it.
Ew.
Nostalgia.
Ew, David.
Yeah.
Who is David
The little
Child?
Oh,
Pepperoni
y'all don't
mac and
watch
cheese.
Up Schitt's Creek?
It's just Shit's
No.
Creek, baby.
Oh.
You ain't gotta go up the creek. It's just.
Can we do
Shit's
another
Creek.
one of those
What I
moments
say?
where we just put some old people stuff on her because you just be saying whatever you want to say? Like,
It
it's
sounded
crazy.
good.
Isn't it Up Schitt's Creek?
It's just Shit's Creek.
Oh man,
Oh, Schitt's
I'm
Creek.
surprised it wasn't the Shit's Creek.
Up
Okay,
Shit's Creek.
You just be happy and wrong. All right, y'all.
Y'all know what I was talking about.
This was good.
This was
So
healing.
good.
Yeah, we
love
laughed, we
it.
cried.
Live,
Might
laugh,
have-
and love, baby.
Live, laugh, and love it.
All right, until next
23.
week, we
Oh.
know we got some more stuff to
But
say.
hold on. Thank you for joining us
Courtney.
on another Hot Mess Momllennials with
Okay.
our guest, C Unit.
That's right.
Courtney.
This is the
See you
unit.
I'm bringing in Aries season strong.
That's right. Yeah, we still got like 20. How many more days?
Okay, whatever. We're wrapping that shit up. You know how to find us.
Click the
This is like the third episode. You should know how to find us because you should have subscribed. Okay, bye.
Bye.